NFC Championship game on EA Sports. Coming up, we've got a good one on tap between America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, and the Atlanta Falcons. I'll join you again at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from earlier this afternoon. But for now, it's Sunday Night Football. And on the call, as always, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Coming up, it's a battle to represent the NFC in this year's Super Bowl. And we've got a classic in store between the Dallas Cowboys and the Atlanta Falcons. Hello, everyone. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. The postseason continuing here on EA Sports. And, man, it is electric in here, and it should be conference championship time.
I don't know about you, but my butterflies in my stomach, they have iron wings in this one. And every guy I've ever talked to has all said the same thing. This game, the conference championship game, may have more intensity than even the Super Bowl because you know what the stakes are. You're trying so hard to get to the big game that this is the one that's the real challenge.
One of these teams will represent the NFC in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks' time. Which will it be as we're underway in the NFC title game? And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. So here are the Cowboys now ready to go on offense for the first time. As we get a peek at their dynamic signal caller hailing from Mississippi State, it's Dak Prescott.
One thing he does very well, he takes care of the football. Had 176 pass attempts to start his career without an interception. That's the most in NFL history. And finished his rookie year, 23 touchdown passes and only 4 interceptions.
Here's the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know, you know better than I, he has the ability to take over a game. So what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run. One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches, so as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
On third down, it's Prescott. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. Tack McKinley in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that'll lead to a 4th down.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. And they'll be led out by the guy under center, Charles, their quarterback.
It's pretty much become the norm when we see guys come out before a game and go through the route tree with their receivers. I thought it was exciting for us to see the exact same thing happen in practice.
He's so meticulous, isn't he?
He really is, and that tells me it's not just a one-time-a-week thing. They work on it all the time, trying to hone that fine edge. They want to see if they can get in sync and stay in sync in this one.
A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. Well, you often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
He completes it to Julio Jones. It's a big play there for Atlanta. 54 yards.
As we continue to advance in the NFL, as people continue to scout players, they really don't care as much about body types as they care about those guys who can make people miss, run through tackles, and gain all that additional run after catch. Anybody who has that ability, they want them on their team.
And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. That good for 22 and a first down. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. Tevin Coleman punching it in from a yard away. And the Falcons have taken the early lead. extra point up and good. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
And now Dallas gets set to take the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again. Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up third. The starting defense for the Falcons.
Many people thought Keanu Neal was overdrafted by Atlanta, but they saw his talents and knew that he would fit their scheme perfectly. A hybrid player, can play deep in the secondary as a safety, can drop down into the box and also make a lot of tackles, and at times can stay on the field and serve a linebacker role as well.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Out of the gun, here's Prescott. He finds Hearns left side. There goes Allen Hearns. And he takes this thing way down into Atlanta territory. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this, when he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better. I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
He'll get it up the middle, and he'll be brought down right at about the 1-yard line. It'll be a gain of 11, and that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on third, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that second down is the time you go play action.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott taking it in from a yard out. And the Cowboys are an extra point away from tying the football game.
But they decided to run it in and got it done on 3rd and goal. A lot of times that's a passing play.
And the kicker just has to come out for the PAT. He can breathe a sigh of relief as well, right?
Although I don't know if he's really breathing a sigh of relief. I think he likes to put 3 points on his ledger.
Now the try here for the point after. Extra point right down the middle. And we are tied at 7. So we're right back where we started. All even as the kick's away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And they had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
Coleman now. Room to run past midfield. He's got the lane, and there he goes. Touchdown, Falcons. Tevin Coleman with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Falcons are able to show off their quick strike ability. And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the 1st quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from his big guys up front because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes. He's found his way through them for 2 touchdowns.
And after both of those touchdowns, he went right up to that O-line and hit each of them on the helmet. He recognized it.
That's a smart man. You know what else he should do? If this continues, take them all to dinner.
So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. They start on the ground with Elliott. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. 1 quarter down, 3 to go on the road to the Super Bowl. 14-7 is the score. We'll return after this message. You're watching the NFL, and it's right here on EA Sports.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Sitting alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin as it is Cowboy football to begin quarter number 2. But they face a 2nd and long to start things out. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. On 2nd down, Elliott takes this one across the 35 to the 36, a gain of about 4.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
His first catch in this NFC Championship game, and it's a 1st down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. Might have to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Tech McKinley in there to get him for his 2nd sack of the night.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how determined they are. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We'll be back with more in the NFC title bout after this. A reminder, as we've done all year, we'll send you to Orlando for our EA Sports halftime report in a bit. The coach is with us per usual as we start to look ahead, Charles, to our potential matchups in this year's Super Bowl.
Break it down, Coach. Break it down.
So now 3rd and 10, a big play to start the drive, but nothing since. Back to throw here. It's caught. Jones. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The result, a 1st down as a quick slant gets him 14. is Coleman. Finding some room at midfield. He's got a convoy, and he might be gone. Touchdown, Falcons. Tevin Coleman saving his best for the playoffs with his third touchdown of the game. And the Falcons will extend their lead. The extra point up and good. And this is becoming quite the half he's had here.
Remember in our pregame meetings, they talked about wanting to run the football and staying with it. Well, when you're scoring this many touchdowns, there's no reason to go away from it, is there? They are off to a fantastic start. They hope it continues.
3 already for it. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Zadarius Smith leading the surge there. He drops him for a loss of 6.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit with a screen soon.
And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. And now a timeout defensively by the Falcons, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. The Falcons send out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. He hasn't had his best day. They have been good running the football, and they have the lead, though, so maybe he just personally wants to improve his play.
And that's without a doubt, because at the end of the game, he wants to feel like he had a really good hand in his team winning, if in fact they do go on and get that done. But the bottom line is finding a way to win the game. So if you're not playing that well, but somebody else is on the team, keep going to that hot hand.
Yeah, not over yet, but looking good here in the second quarter. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Looking deep for Julio. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Julio Jones, as the first half is winding down, and the Falcons will add on to their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. "13 seconds, the time remaining in the half as they come up on 1st down. They'll start the drive with Elliott, and he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. So we've reached halftime here in the NFC Championship. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks. As always, one half remains in the Battle of the Sea. He will take home that George Halas Trophy and represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. We'll get back to you guys in just a moment. But first, let's look back to the AFC Championship game held earlier today. And believe it, it is the Cleveland Browns who are heading to the Super Bowl as they await the winner of this NFC Championship game. So with that, let's get you right back out for the second half, as one of these teams will represent the NFC.
Yeah, who has time for a halftime show with a trip to the Super Bowl on the line? Let's get back to it. The Halas Trophy still hangs in the balance as the second half now underway in the NFC Championship game. Now this offense about ready to take over again. And they have made this look easy. I mean, there's not supposed to be anything easy about the NFL playoffs, but this lead, yes, they're at home, but this has been impressive.
And we hear all the time when upsets happen.
And he's got daylight. It's a foot race. Past the 20. Touchdown, Falcons. Tevin Coleman, 75 yards. And the Falcons will extend their lead. Well, something about this team, you just felt like they were one of destiny all season long. And they made themselves today, as you can see, the class of the NFC.
Yeah, and it's starting to look more and more like a Super Bowl trip is very much in their future.
And the fans starting to book those tickets. Here's Bosher to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. A first down carry by Elliott. And he puts his head down and gets up to the 42 for a gain of about 6.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Prescott now on second down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Deion Jones. Tough to handle on that blitz. He gets him for a loss of 5.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush.
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Zadarius Smith in there to drop it for his second sack now here tonight.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
They just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. Out now comes the Cowboys punter. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. Taken in at the 11. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. And now let's discuss Julio Jones. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it?
Right.
Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well. Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Skirts by him at the 35. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Coleman. And a good burst there gets him 7 up to midfield. On second down, Johnson. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
They stay on the ground on first with Johnson. And he's going to be stopped at about the 37. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. And Jones has it over the middle. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs.
One of the selling points of the in route is it gives the quarterback a really nice sight line to his receiver and almost on a direct shot able to throw the ball into the middle of the field and have a great chance of success as they did on.
And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown as his guys are in for 6. And the Falcons continue to pour it on. And when a Hail Mary is completed for a touchdown pass like that, I think any defensive coordinator just puts their face right into their hands.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, and I don't have stats in front of me. I don't have the empirical numbers that say that in recent years the Hail Mary pass has been completed more than it has been, but it feels that way, doesn't it? And I know the defenses are spending more time on it. I think the biggest mistake they make is that they play everything from behind the receiver. I think they've got to start getting people in front as well to try and knock the ball away.
And he will be taken down here on the return on what will wind up being the final play of this third quarter. And this is a blowout so far. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Prescott from the gun. And he'll hit the slant route. That's caught by Cooper. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
And this is good for a 1st down. His 2nd grab of this NFC Championship bout. From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Here's Prescott. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. They'll throw again. Prescott. They'll set up the screen to Elliott. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. He lost 2 there. And it's 3rd down.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. Throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. His first catch in this NFC Championship game, and it's a 1st down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another 1st. Prescott now perfect since the 2nd half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10.
47.
They play fake to Elliott. Now Prescott. That is caught inside the 5. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Allen Hurns from 21 yards away. And the Cowboys are in for 6. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go. Uh-oh, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And a good job here by the Falcons. Their hands team able to recover it. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. He'll look to throw. Underneath for Johnson. No gain on that one, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
That was impressive to me because while it was a pass play, they still rallied to the football like they were filling running lanes, and they were able to put the receiver on the ground.
Time for a break. Back with more in the NFC Championship game after this. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all. And now they're looking at 3rd down here.
Hey. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They're going to look to throw. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, Coach, what do you want to call? He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. 2nd down, Prescott. On the left side, Gallup's got it. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Throwing the slant pattern here complete. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. And the quick slant gets exactly 10, and by the nose of the football, they've got a 1st down. Prescott on 1st down. Over the middle, Amari Cooper, it's complete. And a timeout as they get it with 26 seconds to go in the football game. Prescott yet again. He's going to let it fly. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man. And you got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
And again, it's Prescott. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Lamb. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the ball game. Prescott going to come up 1st and 10, and he's 6 of 7 now on this drive. To the air again, Prescott. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Lamb. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. And with just inside of 10 seconds to go, they'll burn their final timeout. 9 seconds left. from the red zone now. Prescott. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, second down.
I know in every game we do, we talk about momentum. That was a momentum play lost. And now there could be a letdown because they...
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
They will take a knee here and cue the celebrations. They are off to the Super Bowl. And they get to hoist the Hallis Trophy. Unbelievable victory, moving on to the Super Bowl.
I only hope that these players understand exactly who is behind that trophy. George S. Hallis, one of the creators of this great game of football of ours and creator of the NFL. What an amazing feeling and an amazing accomplishment.
And that will do it for this one. For Charles Davis, myself, and the entire crew, we'll see you in 2 weeks at the Super Bowl.